brother Josh,
My dog.
my brother Joshua Kulamala,
That's me. That's me.
Josh Koul, as some people know.
Josh Koul.
Dang, bro, this has been a long time in the making.
Yes, sir. Long overdue. Long overdue.
Long overdue, bro. I mean, we go way back to college hoops together. We've been through so much, and you've played a huge role in my life, just as a brother and a friend, and just somebody who's seen me go through so many different transitions.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, my audience has gotten to know me over the last couple of years, but they may not know you as well. So I want to kind of dive in and kind of shed some light on your perspective, your story. We got your book right behind your head, so we're definitely going to talk about that.
Yep.
My favorite nightmare, author, former collegiate athlete, trainer, so many different things. Yep. So where I want to start, bro, is first, I want you to introduce yourself in a way that you would to somebody that has never met you. And, they come up to you, hey, like, who are you? What are you into? What would you say to that person?
Man, it's funny you say that, and I know we're never gonna go directly to answering questions. We're always talking like in depth, but just that concept in general of knowing who you are and being proud of who you are, that's something that's the season I'm in right now currently, like being confident and proud of my accomplishments and what I've done, what I've been able to succeed in, or even the failures, just being proud of that all in general. So
Wow.
The fact that you asked that question, that's something I'm working with now. Whenever people ask me, I'm like, yo, I don't want to hesitate when I tell people who I am, what I do, or what I aspire to do, right? So first and foremost, before we get into that, I want to say, congratulations to you, my brother.
Appreciate
Congratulations to this space. Congratulations for, the accomplishments in the audience and the amount of people that you've been able to impact over the years. Like, it's honestly a beautiful thing to see. People obviously, like you said, they don't know our story and where we come from, but to see, where you came from, where you've been, and where you are, and the goals that you're continuing to build for yourself, it's a beautiful thing. It's inspirational. Stories that I continue to tell my brothers.
Thank you, bro.
My friends, my people around. I talk about you all the time in a positive light, bro. I'm super proud of you. So huge congratulations. And, sky's the limit.
Appreciate you, brother.
Sky's the limit.
Appreciate you.
But yeah, to answer your question, if I were to meet a stranger and to introduce myself, my name is Josh Koul. I'm a self-published author. I'm an athlete, a trainer, a mentor. And I think holistically, what I aspire to do is create a foundation where, I allow people, athletes specifically, but in general, anyone that's looking to tap into their creative space while honing a space where you're able to cope and to actually like deal with the things that you're being creative about. Because all creatives, whether you're an artist, whether you're a singer, writer, you do content, there's a reason why you have this creative output. There's a reason why you have the inspiration that comes to you. It's because of a lot of things that you deal with and that you've been through in life. Now you have an experience that you're able to pass on to other people. But no one ever takes the time to deal and cope with those situations. We use, like when we were athletes, we use basketball as a coping mechanism. We use whatever form, whether it's writing, doing content, editing, as an escape.
Yeah.
Right. But people are not actually digging in and dealing with the issues that cause them to want to do this in the first place. So I think I want to create a space where, athletes like us, they start tapping into that mental part and actually questioning things and looking into their emotions, not just pushing it away and trying to find, distractions or coping mechanisms. It's like, I heard this one saying is like, you got to look at your emotions and your stress and anxiety like clouds passing by.
Wow.
So you're just sitting down and you observe it instead of really distract and look away. Just observe them, and they come and then they go. It's like a cloud, passing by. So that's your emotions. You got to be able to sit with it. And I want to create a place and a foundation for people to be able to do that, whether it's through journaling, whether it's through writing and publishing stories, whether it's through training, So that's who I am. That's what I aspire to become. Yeah.
So something that I've always realized about you is just how deep and profound you are when it comes to thinking and just the way that you see life, and you have a lot of depth to you. You know,
Mhm.
I'm interested to know how, like, where that was really cultivated for you first.
Mm.
You know, like, obviously you have your childhood and how you grew up,
Yeah.
but what was that moment that kind of like shifted like everything for you and made you start like paying attention to things that you weren't maybe aware of before, like
Yeah.
the mental and emotional side of
Yeah.
things, dealing with the internal.
That's a good question. That's a good question. I think a lot of it stemmed from my injury. When I tore my Achilles, a lot of it came from that.
That was our sophomore year at Adelphi University. That was our first year together as
Yep.
teammates.
Yep.
And I watched this man do a crazy preseason and be in a crazy shape. Start the year
Yeah.
amazing, and then have that
Yeah, started
tragic
the year
injury.
great, and also to put in in hindsight, like before I came to Adelphi, the background that I come from, and kids like me, is it was a struggle. Like it's a lot of things that I had to do in order to even get to Adelphi first. Whether like talking about like, multiple jobs, we're in school at the same time, full-time sports. I have 5 younger brothers. So, being the oldest of that, you already have to carry yourself in a certain way.
Mm,
I've always tried to carry myself and lead by example. And that's something that translated to sports and my teams. I've always been, captain of the team, and that's because of my ability to lead by example, not necessarily speak.
right.
I like speaking and talking. That's something that I'm still working on. I'm still trying to progress in, having a camera in front of me and be able to express myself the way I want. I could write anything, and if I have to talk to someone privately, like I could do that. But when it comes to, the camera being on and things like that, I'm learning that. But leading by example is something that's always been innate in me. And then after my injury, I think it really changed my perspective on life.
Prior to that, you had no major injuries like that.
No,
Okay.
no, no, never. That was a huge shift because it changed my perspective on life. I was always 100% like basketball is like everything, right? And even going into university, I feel like when I moved to the States, I wanted to have a goal for myself um, to be more just outgoing, be more, what's the word?
Extroverted.
Extroverted.
Okay.
Yeah,
And just real
definitely.
quick, where are you from? Tell them
I'm
your home.
from Quebec, Canada.
Quebec, Canada.
Quebec,
Word.
Canada.
Yeah,
Yeah.
word. Because you said
So
overseas, like you came to the States. They were like, where are you
yeah,
from?
that's true. That's true. I'm from
Facts.
Quebec. I grew up. I'm actually born in New York, but my parents separated when I was super, super young. My mom moved to Canada, so I grew up in Quebec. And the goal for me was always to come back to the States for
Mm-hmm.
university. And I'm very, very grateful that I've been able to do that. And that's the thing. Like when you go through everything that you went through, and I finally come to the States, I get we're on full scholarship. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pursue this basketball thing, and I tear my Achilles, and it's just like outside of basketball, it opened my eyes to see how disconnected I was from society.
Mm,
Like us athletes, but we spend so much time locked into the gym, so much time just comparing ourselves to other people, and like, having this goal that we're constantly pushing to get. I realized that I was so tapped out of society, um, community, being able to just have, natural conversations with friends and family included. Like I realized how distant I was from my family, um, and having that injury, being forced to sit down and really think. Like I couldn't use basketball as a coping mechanism anymore. I couldn't use, walking or running as a cope anymore. It was really like, okay, you have to sit down with this. You don't have a choice.
mm.
Um, and that changed my perspective. It really allowed me to think about my emotions, not just the emotions itself, but why was I feeling? How did it get to this place?
That's
Like,
really
why
good,
am I
man.
feeling like this? And
Mm.
like I said, I have 5 younger brothers. These kids, man, I'm not gonna call them kids because they're grown now, but it's like we all go through our journey in life. And it's like, as much as these are my brothers, as much as I should know what's going on with them, as a man, it's hard to understand like how we're dealing with society, how we're dealing with the world. It's not easy for young black men. And I was going through so much, but all I could think about was, yo, how much are my brothers going through? Like, like disregard the things that I got going on. If I'm dealing with this, my brothers must be going through so much. And I think that's what allowed me to like really think a lot more in depth and take a lot of those things into consideration. Was when I talk to someone, yeah, they're talking to me about, you know, surface level stuff, but am I able to really like dig in and figure out why is it that you're talking about this? Where did this come from? And it all comes from me wanting to connect with my brothers more. Yeah, connect with my brothers and try to understand what they've been through, to see where they are now and how can I help them, you know, become better moving forward. So as much as I was going through things and I was in my emotions and in my feelings, I was always a matter of trying to figure out how to study that feeling, writing it down, analyzing it, going over it over and over again so that I could relate to other people. And I don't know whether it was a good or a bad thing, but the intention was always try to learn how to I can make things easier for my brothers.
I got you.
Yeah.
And what do you feel like you learned most about yourself from that time being injured? I mean, like, yeah, I mean, you, like you said, you were kind of just coming to the States. You had this goal, you achieved it, and then it was like, now, like, I'm going to go full throttle and be the best player I can be.
Yeah.
You get hit with this injury. You've never experienced it before.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you went through a multitude of different phases. Like, maybe at the beginning you could touch on, like, was there, like, you know, resistance to even accepting that this is the real thing? Was there a lot of questioning about, am I going to continue to be able to continue playing?
Yeah.
Like, did you go through different seasons of like, or different moments where you were like doubting yourself and if this is even your path? Like, talk to me about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, it's a roller coaster of emotions. Like initially, the first feeling was kind of denial. Like I was just in denial. I'm like, nah, because like you especially back then. Now you see Achilles injuries a lot more often. But back then, you weren't really seeing it like that. It was Kevin Durant was probably the more recent one, but I was like, I didn't really hear about those things. And then to hear that I tore my Achilles, I was like, no, that doesn't even make sense. Like that thought has never crossed my mind ever in my life. Like, yeah, maybe you roll your ankle or whatever, you dislocate your shoulder, whatever the case is, but to tear your Achilles, that thought had never, ever, ever crossed my mind. I'm like, that's not a thing that happened to me. So it was denial. And I honestly didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was going to come from the rehab. So it was more like, I'm super optimistic person. So as soon as I started rehab and as soon as the doctors were telling me this is like the time frame that you're looking at, in my head, I'm like, all I got to do is stay in the gym and I'm going to get better. Like, bro, I live in the gym. I remember,
bro.
Easy.
Dang, yeah.
I live in the gym. So if all I got to do is stay in the gym and I'm going to get better, like I could do that. I was kind of a little worried about, okay, like, what's my role going to be like when I get back, once I do get healthy. But a couple months in, bro, COVID hit.
Yep.
The pandemic shut everything down.
We're with each other this whole time, y'all. I'm just letting y'all know that.
Shut everything down. And then I think that's when we got sent home. We got sent home. No, it was March break.
Yep.
It was March break and they're like, yo, go home for like 2 weeks.
And it got announced while we were on break.
Yeah, and it got announced while we were on March break. But I went home. My car was still on campus.
Yeah.
My clothes, everything was still on campus. We ended up being home for like 5 months or something like that.
Crazy work.
Crazy. I get back home and everything is closed. All the clinics, physio facilities, everything is shut down, bro. So I'm like, yo, how do I even rehab? That was my main thing. I was like, damn. But I was super lucky that the old school I was at, the head trainer, he's also a trainer for Team Canada and everything like that. He had his own clinic, a private clinic. So he was able to open that up for me and we were just putting in work. 4 or 5 months, I was back home just putting in work. A lot of work. And I think that when I tore my Achilles the second time. So the second time I tore my Achilles, I think I was thinking about all of that. It was just the entire
everything that you had to go through.
Everything that I had to go through, the feeling. As soon as I tore my Achilles the second time, it wasn't even the same feeling of denial. It was right away. It was acceptance. Instantly, it was acceptance.
And this was last year.
This was a few months ago.
A few months ago, yeah, you tore it for the second time.
as soon as I tore it, I was like, yo, that's the feeling. That's the feeling I've been trying to describe to people when they ask me, yo, what does it feel like to tear your Achilles, or what did it feel like? What was it? Was a pop? Was it this? And I always had like a little explanation, but I was never able to put my finger quite on it. And as soon as I snapped it, it was, oh my God.
You knew
It
immediately.
was like, that's the feeling I've been trying to explain to these people. Like, it's too familiar to me to think it was any other injury. I knew right away that it was my Achilles. I was like, damn, that's it. It was like, I had like a flashback of my entire career. I was like, oh, and it was acceptance. I was really in a good space when it happened, bro. I was like, okay, you know what? Just be grateful and appreciative of everything that transpired the last 5 years. And we may need to move on to something else. we may need to go to something else, bro. Turn the page, brother.
Real talk, though. Real talk.
That's the only thing that really would have stopped me, bro. Like, knowing like my work ethic and how much I love the game.
Yeah.
It really took 2 Achilles injuries for me to say, okay, I got to move on.
Right.
Otherwise, I probably still would have been trying to go at it.
Golly. That's a crazy perspective. Like, tearing it the second time and then thinking of everything that you had to do the first time.
Yeah.
And then you have to weigh it like, do I really want to go through that again?
It was like, bro, that pain was long.
Yeah.
And it's like the pandemic was there. Obviously, I was going through emotional pain, dealing with relationships and stuff like that at the time. Right. So even though I wasn't dealing with that again the second time around, I just brought back all those feelings. It brought back all these emotions. So that's what it was. And I was like, damn, I thought I got over the hump. But as you realize that I was talking about earlier, the emotions that we just try to cope and ignore and put to the side, we brush under the rug. And I'm like, bro, I can't keep brushing this under the rug.
They don't go anywhere.
It's all right here. I thought it was gone, but it was just all here the whole time. And yeah, bro, it's really like now I'm having a great understanding of, you know, you're gonna continue to go through the same issues until you really sit down with it and deal with it.
Wow.
You have to deal with it. Otherwise, bro, it's just, like I said, it's just brush under the rug, and it's gonna come out at some point, at another point. And this is the second time I tore my Achilles, but it's like, I feel like I needed it in a sense. The first time it happened, I was like, I still came back, and I came back and I was extremely grateful and appreciative of the game. I'm like, okay, I'm able to play after all of this. And then for some reason, I think I got away from that gratitude and appreciation at some point. And then tearing it the second time, it was really like, brother, like, this is not a game. Like, you really have to take this life, appreciate this life, be grateful, deal with your emotions, because otherwise it's going to continue to come, to come back. And it's going to continue to come back. So
why do you feel like for men specifically it's so hard for us to like embrace and deal with our emotions?
Man, it's ingrained in us, and we've been taught to ignore it. Like, we weren't taught that dealing with your emotions and looking at it is gonna lead to you healing. We're taught that ignoring your feelings is what you're supposed to do in order to get better, which is completely wrong. I think it's just the way society perpetuated it, bro. Like, we're not supposed to. It shouldn't be so hard to go up to someone and go, "How you doing?" I'm not feeling that good. Like, that shouldn't be hard.
That's true.
I'm not feeling too good, brother. I feel like a lot of people aren't able to deal with their own emotions. So how can you carry someone else's? How can you help someone else when they start talking about emotions if you're not able to look at yours straight in the face? I think that's what it takes for men. Individually, you have to take the time to deal with your feelings. You got to take the time to study it. And we shouldn't be so against, speaking about how we're feeling, like genuinely how we're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And if people were more inclined to be like, yeah, I'm not feeling too well, it's not going to be some type of conversation that's going to be, super negative for the whole time. Like, if it becomes more and more common, then that conversation it might last. Instead of 30 minutes of you talking about, negative things, it might be 10 minutes, and then you're moving on to something more positive afterwards. But at least you're able to get that out. Right now, none of us are getting it out. The feelings that we really feel, we're just dealing with it when we're in our rooms by ourselves. And then when we come outside, we're acting like everything is cool, everything is okay. So I think it takes us to look our emotions in the face, have a conversation with our emotion,
mm-hmm.
Name it, to be able to name it, to be able to to ask yourself why is it there, that's gonna be the first step before we're able to talk about it with other people and express
Yeah,
our feelings to other people. It's
definitely.
really just looking in the mirror and pinpointing what these emotions are. It's like you got to look at your emotion like a person almost, and be like, "Yo, sit with it.
Mm.
Like he's here. Like where me and you are sitting right now. That's your emotion. Okay, you gotta name it, whatever it is you're feeling, because that in itself, naming your emotion is extremely hard. If you never practiced it, it's hard to express how it is you're feeling, to explain it and put into words. That's something that we have to practice.
Yeah.
Just like any other thing you practice in life, you have to practice that, because that's something you'll be able to pass on to your kids, to your next generation, and that's going to create a healthy family. But you're sitting with your emotion, you name it, and then you have a conversation with your emotion. Like, yo, why are you doing this to me? Why is it? What is it that I need to do in order to feel better? Like actually having that conversation is going to make you feel so much better.
Wow, bro.
And then you'll be able to help other people out.
That's a beautiful perspective.
Thank you.
Separating yourself from the emotion and having a conversation with it.
Yeah.
Rather than fighting it or avoiding it or suppressing it, I'm going to view it as a separate part of me that I just need to talk to.
Exactly. Anxiety. That's another person you need to sit down and have a conversation with. Because otherwise, how are you ever going to get to where you need to get to if you're not able to talk to anxiety? Because anxiety is going to be there. No matter what you want to do, the stress and anxiety is going to be at every stop. And if you're not able to sit down with it, to name it and have a conversation, you're going to stay stuck.
So
you won't
true.
be able to advance.
So true. You ever heard the quote, "What you resist persist"?
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, what you resist in life persists.
Yes.
Like you have to work on accepting these parts of you.
Yes. God will make you, what is it? It's like God will make you, it will continue to change the things around you and keep you distracted until you change.
Mm,
Like you yourself is the change.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, bro.
Mm.
I don't know if I'm quoting it word for word, but it's something like that.
We gotta tap in. So during that year you tore your Achilles and you were going through a lot relationally.
Yeah.
I remember very vividly.
Unfortunately.
What was it? You stupid, bro. What was it that like kept you going through that whole thing? Like what was really like carrying you through that? Like I remember vividly, yeah, you were dealing with all of these things relationally, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all of this stuff was going on, family. But like every day you just kept showing up. When I was around you, you were still incredibly positive. And we had our moments, obviously, like that's how our connection grew, is we had our times where we would go deep and be vulnerable with each other. But I just saw the persistence of you showing up every day and never giving in to the struggle.
Yeah.
You always just kept going, and you always had the courage to articulate what you were going through with still taking steps. You didn't allow what you were going through to become so heavy that it kept you down.
Yeah.
That's
a great point. I don't know, bro, God, I don't know how I did it. I think I'm such a faithful person and an optimistic person that I was kind of looking at my life. I'm like, yo, my life is a movie. And I'm like, this is part of it, bro. This adversity, these challenges, like you need to go through this in order to get to where you need to get to. I'm very grateful and lucky to have that perspective, because a lot of people won't. A lot of people don't. And it's just not something that I never had affect me. Giving up it's never something that comes into my mind. Quitting is not something that comes into my mind. I think it's just ingrained in me and my family.
I was gonna say, like, where did you learn that?
Yeah, it's my looking at my mom, for example, looking at my grandma, seeing the things that they had to go through and how hard they worked. I think for me, like, you know what it was, bro? Now I'm thinking about it, is really like I'm very grateful. I was just very grateful. I'm on a full scholarship. I'm at this beautiful private school.
That joint was nice.
Bro, yo.
Yeah, shout out to Adelphi.
All
man.
you could eat.
Yeah, real talk.
Man, all I had to do was focus on basketball and go to class. As much as I was going through things, my brothers, bro, it was seeing the things that my brothers were going through that made me just, bro, I can't complain. I have to be grateful. Me and my brothers, we don't have the same dad. We don't have the same father. So they all grew up, they all have the same father. And he left when they were super young. Yeah, probably the youngest one was about 3 or 4. And they're like 20, 23 years old. So, they never had a dad. I didn't grow up with my father either, but my dad was still involved in my life. He's in New York, so when I going to Adelphi was one of the reasons why I chose to be in New York. It was because I wanted to be around, see my dad and get to know him. It's the first time in my life where I lived around my father. But my brothers don't have that. They don't have that aspect. They don't have a father in their life. They don't have, an older male figure to be able to help guide them. If I didn't have my dad, I had coaches, growing up to be able to instill some discipline, instill some guidance. So I think that's something that kept me humble and kept me hungry was seeing my brothers, their circumstances, their situations back home, reminded me of where I came from, and I had no reason to complain. It was like, yo, I need to get healthy and I need to get better so I could help my family.
Wow, bro.
Yeah.
And did you find basketball as a form of escape or just a love?
Growing up, I thought it was love. After the injury, even during the injury, I thought it was love. After the injury, I realized how much I was using basketball as a form of escape. I didn't realize that, bro. And they say the number one, what is it? It's like one way to hide pain is to call it passion. And I was like, that's really what it was. As much as I was passionate about basketball, there was so much pain that I was ignoring, so much pain that I wasn't dealing with by going to train. It's not even the basketball itself, it's the training, bro. I love the training more than I love basketball. Like to getting better, the thought of, progressing and, self-discipline, things like that. Being able to see your body and see your mind and your skills continue to grow, that's something that I was extremely, extremely passionate about. But I didn't realize that no matter what's going on in my life, as soon as there's some type of issue, let me go train. Whenever there's something, let me go train. Let me go do this because it's gonna help distract me. Which, yeah, it's in some sense, it's a good thing.
Right.
But what's the reason why you're doing that? And I think after my rehab, it made me realize that I was using basketball as a source of escaping.
Wow, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, you don't realize that while you're going through the mix.
At
while
all.
you're young and you're growing up, like for me, it's like, yo, this is what feels good, so I'm gonna continue to do this. And this is what's giving me attention. This is what's giving me opportunities, whatever. It's a healthy form of escape for sure.
Absolutely.
If you're gonna have a form of escape, like have it be something athletic, have it be something that's gonna help you, benefit from it in some way. But I think just growing up and having more self-awareness allowed me to realize that it was definitely a form of escape. And yeah, you can't have it. It's not going to be there forever either. So now I'm like, now that I can't even play basketball again, I'm in the same mix of, rehabbing. It doesn't hit me as much as back then. Because I'm like, I realized that I don't need that. I could find sources of peace in other areas. So I'm very appreciative of my growth in awareness.
Absolutely. Couple more on the athletic, and then we'll shift topics. But what do you feel like, from your experience, what do you feel like is advice that younger generations of athletes need to hear? Think about when you were growing up, middle, high school. Like, what do you feel like is some advice that would have really helped you during those times?
Man, if I could sit down with my younger self, I would. This is such a weird thing because it's like when you're young, you kind of tone those things out. Like when older heads came into the practice and they're talking to you, you're like, yo, what does this guy know?
Yeah, right.
What does this guy know? I'm trying to go to the league, bro. This guy didn't even make the league. I'm not listening, yo. So I'm like, I asked myself, if my younger version was sitting here, would he be receptive to what I'm telling him? Then like, would he even be like listening to the words that I'm trying to put down?
Right.
And I would tell him, like, you cannot, first and foremost, don't be so hard on yourself, right? Don't be so hard on yourself, and understand that this is really a marathon. Like, this game is a marathon. Your goal and purpose is to become the best version of yourself. It's not about looking left and right and comparing yourself to other people. Everybody comes from different circumstances. Everybody has different goals. Whatever they tell you their goals are, they have a different goal, and everyone's walking a different path. And you know how we speak a lot about like the destination. The destination is the reward, or
The journey is the
the
reward.
journey is the reward, right? And it's really like every step that we take is the destination. You know, it's not the end that we're trying to get to. Like every step is the destination, and you gotta try to, you know, accept where your feet are at right now. But I don't know. That's what I'm like. I don't know how much those younger guys are gonna be receptive to that message. But the best thing I would want to tell him is like, do not be so hard on yourself and understand this is a marathon. As long as you continue to be the best version of yourself each day, that's all that matters. Like the reason why I say that is because we were so hard, and we let those emotions and that cold affect our relationship with people around us. It made us affect the way we saw ourselves mostly. So I'm like, I really would hope that, you know, you're able to keep those ties and, you know, not burn any bridges. I've never been the one to burn bridges, but I definitely could have had stronger bonds with people if I wasn't allowing, you know, whatever I was going through to affect it. But yeah, definitely I think that's what I would say.
It's good. And to add on to what you were saying about what I would say to my younger self,
Yeah.
I want to chime in a little bit, because I also think that a lot of kids or a lot of the younger generation struggle with like on the court, like playing, you know, because there's so many different things that are playing a role in like, or a factor in like stopping you from just playing. And for me, one of the biggest things that I felt like really always got in the way of me performing to my highest level was worrying so much about things outside of just basketball. Like I would go into the game, and now what is coach thinking of me? What are people in the stands thinking of me? My teammates thinking of me?
Yep.
And what happens like if I miss this shot or I turn a ball over, I would feel embarrassed.
Yep.
So I would like kind of, you know,
Yeah,
stop myself. So I'm overthinking.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm not just playing. And so I think if there was a message that I could give to my younger self, especially within sports, it's learn how to block out the noise. And it's something you have to be intentional with and practice at, you know, but I never was exposed to anything that was teaching me that I was allowing all this stuff in. So I never got the opportunity to really go down the path of working on it.
Yeah. Like you're saying, you didn't even realize it was
Didn't
happening.
even realize it. I just knew it was part of it. And like what I would do is I would try to force myself I would try to force myself out of it.
Yep.
If I was worried about, so my answer to being worried about what people thought was I have to make this shot.
Yeah.
I have to not turn the ball over.
Yeah.
I have to play in this. So now I'm playing like very like scared rather than just playing open and free. You know?
And the craziest thing is I was like that too, and it's like it really wasn't even that bad. When we look back, I'm like,
bro. First of all, we were both nice. Let's just say that we was cold, pro. Like,
yes,
gotta get pay respect. But you're, bro, so right.
It was not even that bad. We put so much pressure on ourselves. I'm like, yeah, like even if you get a turn, like I see guys get turnovers now, and it's like, okay, just get back on defense, bro, and make up for it. That's it. Like even the coaches, like I don't know. I think it's like we looked at the coaches, and we thought maybe based off of how they would react, it meant something.
Yes,
but that's just a natural reaction.
That's just coaches, bro.
It's coaches,
and they're never, bro. Yes, bro. And I will say, coaches do have a huge role in like a player's confidence and what a player is able to do. But a lot of times it's the player getting in their own way. Like me thinking 100%. About what are the coaches gonna think does me no good. Because I don't know unless they tell me. You know,
now you're just making up ideas.
Now you're just making up ideas.
You're feeding it,
and because you've made up an idea that is uncomfortable to think about. Now you're playing in a way to where they don't react in that way. So now you're not just playing. Right. So the goal is to just go out there and play the game that you've conditioned your body to know how to play better than your mind. Like why put in all of those reps if you're gonna go into the game and start overthinking your shot?
Exactly. Why did the coach recruit you here in the first place?
Right.
Like do the things that you naturally do. Do the things that you said your body is gonna do instinctively.
Yes. And one thing I realized about basketball, which I'm so grateful for, in sports in general, is what you were touching on about the emotional side of things, learning how to sit with your emotions and face them. That's what I realized basketball like exposed for me. And I didn't realize this until I stopped playing. The biggest thing is I had a tendency, right? So let's say I was watching film, or let's say in the game I turned the ball over, made a mistake, missed the defensive assignment, something small, right?
You're gonna skip it?
In film. If I'm watching back film, I know that this part is coming up, or I missed a shot bad. I know that this part's coming up. And because I didn't want to feel the same way I felt in that moment, the embarrassment, the shame, I would skip over it. What I was conditioning myself to do was I was conditioning myself to view those emotions as bad things that I should avoid.
Yeah.
So now when I go into the game, I'm not just playing free. I'm playing in a way to avoid any type or any situation that could trigger those emotions.
Yep.
And that right there is what creates that's what gets in the way of you just playing and just being in flow state. Flow state is where you're not thinking, you're just doing.
Yep.
You're just allowing yourself to do. But if you're worried about certain, emotions not being triggered or certain things not happening, you're getting in the way of just doing. Now you're thinking.
Yep.
So
what do you feel like? What was the reason, or like if you wouldn't have done that, how that would have benefited you?
Because if I would have learned how to sit with those emotions of embarrassment, discomfort, when it comes to the game of basketball, sit with the part of me that was worried about what coach was thinking and just sit with those emotions. What I'm doing is I'm showing my body that those emotions are safe.
Yep.
They're not a bad thing.
Yep.
I don't fear them, right? Yep. So now when they come up, my reaction isn't, oh shoot, I gotta run or I gotta avoid. I've been here before. Whatever I gotta go to. So in a game, maybe you're feeling those emotions rather than completely self-sabotaging and trying to do everything and not feel it.
Yeah.
You have a grounding practice, whether that's a few deep breaths, whether that's, you go to a certain teammate, y'all do something, whatever it is, that grounds you into that emotion, and then you're able to just play.
And I think that's where it comes from, like where I touched on like being able to talk to other people.
Yeah.
Like that, you save so much if you're able to express your feelings. It doesn't have to be like in a quote unquote soft way or whatever, but like if you're able to have that conversation with a teammate, with an assistant coach or whatever the case is, that's going to alleviate so much stress and anxiety, because there's no way you're the only one feeling that way. But we think that we're the only ones feeling that way. We tell ourselves we're weak for feeling that way. We tell ourselves we're inadequate for feeling that way. And like we're not an athlete. Like great athletes shouldn't feel like that. Bro, I guarantee you 80% of your team has had that feeling.
Yes.
And it's important to have the conversation with people, other players, because then that's what bonding is. That's what teammates are for. It's gonna be, like you said, you're gonna get a new mechanism on how to deal with it. Whether it's breathing techniques, whether it's writing, whatever the case is. Now you found a way to be able to manage that stress without ignoring it.
Yes.
Like you didn't ignore it. You're not pushing it to the side. You acknowledged it. It's there, but you're still able to continue and progress.
That's the key.
And that's super important. So for athletes, like, bro, express yourselves. Like, I'm trying to say, like, how do you explain that in a way like you're not going overboard or over the top? Like you have to be able to.
I think it starts with, like you said, it starts with yourself.
Yeah.
Like, can you express those things to yourself first? Whether it's journaling, sitting with yourself in your room alone.
Yeah.
Like, can you start to do that? Because then I think about our situation, our relationship.
Yeah.
Like when we first came in, we were still getting used to each other, but you went through some crazy stuff, and I was there the whole time. And then you saw me.
Yeah.
It flipped. You saw me go through some, life-changing stuff. And we low-key, like, as you're talking, it's making me reflect. We were doing that for each other. We were giving each other space to be open and honest about what we were feeling.
Yeah.
And it was helping me, at least, like with mustering up the courage to allow that stuff to come up.
Yeah.
Because you gave me the space to do that. But that started really when I was alone in the hospital or in my room trying to figure these things out, doing my journaling.
Yeah.
There were so many times I would come to your dorm, bro, knock on the door or pull up, and you were journaling, you were reading.
Yeah.
You were just in your space.
Yeah.
That's the time where you're cultivating, like, emotional well-being, diving into your thoughts, really sitting with yourself. So now when we do get together, or when you're around your teammates and stuff, you have the ability to actually speak about the things that you've navigated.
You kind of have an idea of what to say or where to start or whatever, because it's hard to pinpoint how you feel. It's so hard to, like, when someone says, yo, how are you feeling? We automatically say good or whatever, because we don't know how to express whatever it is what we're feeling deep inside. So journaling, writing it down, looking at something that was once in your head, now you could see it visually, is in itself, it's a way to, like, put a title to it.
And can you relate to the idea of just wishing somebody would be able to understand you?
Absolutely.
Like, this is also the importance of being able to show up for yourself, because there's going to be moments, bro. Like, I remember, especially when I first, got diagnosed and I was going through what I was going through, bro, the longing for people to understand me and come to me. And I realized nobody's coming to you, bro.
Yep.
Like,
Yo.
you gotta deal with this stuff on your own. Not to say you don't have support,
Yeah.
but like what you're searching for in somebody and other people,
Exactly.
you have to do that for you.
Exactly. What you want from someone they're never gonna give that the way you deep inside want it. And like you said, you gotta do it for yourself, but also being there for other people is what's gonna allow, like, that's gonna release some of that feelings for you too. Like, that's for me, like, I think initially what started it off was being there for others. And I didn't realize that I was doing that because I didn't really have someone there for me. But I'm like, okay, I want to do for others what I would want done for myself. So a lot of people hide their own capabilities of being able to express by just being an ear to other people. And I think that's what I did at first in a it's not really in a negative way, but it's making it seem like I actually know, I actually know what I'm talking about, or whatever the case is. I'm here listening to these people express themselves, and I'm like, yo, you guys are so, courageous, and I want to be courageous like that.
Dang,
so it's like
bro.
it's them that are actually inspiring me to open up. But that you have to make that step, and you have to be willing to understand, as opposed to just wanting everyone to understand you. Like you have to understand other people first.
Man, when you were talking about showing up for people, like a memory came to my mind. I remember I came into practice, and this was after I ended up in the hospital. Came into the practice, I think it was after the second time, and I was in practice. I was struggling that day. Like, I was
You're just wilding.
Bro, I was struggling, bro. Like, I was just struggling mentally, like, just being there, right? And I remember I wasn't practicing. I was just in practice. Everybody kept coming up to me, asking me, yo, you all right? You good? How you, like, you good? You good? You good? And it was getting so, like, I was so angry because
I think
I was like,
practice.
bro, like, I'm not good. And y'all keep asking me, because y'all just saw what I went through, bro.
Yeah, obviously.
And
I'm
remember,
not.
and we were in the circle, and I started like,
Yeah.
I just got diagnosed.
Yeah.
This is my situation. Some days I'm this, some days I'm not good. And then I walked off. You started clapping, bro. I started, no. And I mean this in the most like basic, like what you were just, because that do sound crazy. That's something you had.
I just remember, as you're
Bro,
saying, I
remember vivid, and you were looking, and you were with me, and like after I walked off, and I'm like tearing up, like you started clapping, bro, and it got everybody else to like support, and like that's just what came to my mind when you said you show up for people, because bro, you consistently one of the main people that showed up for me in some of the lowest moments of my life, bro, and like that just speaks to like your character and exactly what you're saying. Like, I think you've always had this this ability to show up for people and hold space. And just hearing from your story, I think that has to do with you being the oldest of 5, growing up in the environment you grew up in with, the dynamic in the household. And I think it's just a testament to who you are, bro. So I just wanted to give you your flowers in that moment, because
thank you.
I remember that vividly, where I was
I remember those things. It's rough times, bro. It's rough times, but it's like, that's what, being able to come out of that and being able to, because I don't know, I think about it sometimes, I'm like, I don't know if I would be able to come out of it the way you did, bro. Like, that's extreme amount of like courage and strength. Like, you really did that, bro. You really did that, and you did it in an authentic way. Even when you were going through your things, like, I looked at you and I was like, bro, he's being real. Like, the things that's coming out of his mouth, it's not like he doesn't feel that for real. Like, he's being and saying real things. So at the end of the day, it's like, how can you fault that? Like, he doesn't have anywhere to put these thoughts and emotions. Like, he's being as real. How can you be scared of that? How can you be worried of that? This is what authenticity is. So at the end of the day, it's just like, I looked at that as super courageous. And now, like, you're here, you're doing these podcasts, you're helping, all these people around the world. It's like, people, that's so selfless, bro. That's so selfless. You're doing God's work, like I was telling you the other day, man. Like, you're changing lives, and you're putting other people ahead of yourself, and that's the ultimate, like.
Thank you, bro.
That's the ultimate.
Dang, bro. That was by far the most transformative, like, toughest time of my life, and you were with me in that time, bro. And I was with you when you first got injured, like, for 3 years straight. And there's so many other like college things that we went through, relationships, women, all that stuff, teammates,
Unlimited.
COVID, bro. So,
Yo.
but something I wanted to touch on too, you mentioned this when we first saw each other, was identity. What I realized when I got diagnosed and went through everything that I went through, what happened in that moment that was so like raw and like scary at first was the identity that I had built up all the way up until that point got shattered instantly. And on top of it, when I got out of the hospital, I tried, like my first reaction when I first got back was, I just want to go back to being Zay.
Yeah.
Exactly how I was. But then I realized that everybody now saw me differently. They didn't let me go back to the old identity. So now it was, I don't feel connected to the identity. Then I tried to go back and I wasn't being accepted in that identity. So I was left with just this raw, bare bones of me. I didn't know who I was.
I don't know how that must have felt.
I mean, you were with me, but yeah.
I can't really say how that must have felt. Like, I seen it in you, but like to say like.
But it opened my eyes to the like how we create identities and how identities can be shattered and stuff. And specifically with being an athlete, you grew up and you had this identity as a basketball player, right? And you were living in that, and you can kind of touch on what it was like kind of finishing school and having that kind of, I don't want to, like, for lack of a better term, identity crisis of who am I now?
No, it's a great term,
right? And you obviously, you've been writing and you're an author, but there's still some internal like questioning and back and forth of like, who am I outside of this sport? So speak to me on like what it was like navigating identity through college, right? When you went through the injuries, was there anything there? And then what it's been like kind of, stepping away from the game and moving into different, avenues and different expressions. Like what is identity been like for you?
Yeah, so I mean, in college, there's so many things going on, and this is a time where you already have like I already had a goal set in mind that this is what I'm going to go for. This basketball dream is what I want to do. And up until that point, every day has been work put towards that goal.
One of the hardest workers I've ever met in my life, by the way. Go ahead, yeah.
Respect.
Yeah.
And yeah, to have that ripped away, like there's different aspects of walking away from the game. You could walk away from the game on your own accord, on your own choice. You could walk away from the game because somebody else didn't accept you, or you walk in the game because you're forced to walk away from it off of injuries or whatever other situations could occur. But for me, having the game taken away from me in college, it made me realize that I could lose this at any point. That's something I'm kind of grateful for because it didn't happen later on. It happened super early where I was like, yo, this game could go at any point, and I have to be able to have other outlets. And that's where writing was huge. Because I wrote a lot growing up. I actually grew up, I wanted to be a rapper when I was younger. So all of my writing, I used to write songs, wanted to become a rapper, and that transitioned into poetry at some point because I didn't really like the rap scene. I didn't like what was going on in the hip hop community in terms of like how you were perceived. So I kind of just transitioned into poetry. And then after poetry, that got into, narration and creating dialogues and actually wanting to put a story together. How can I express something in a way that other people are going to be able to understand the message I want? And I stepped away from writing a lot when I got, just because I was focused on basketball, my basketball career, and wanted to become a professional. So once I tore my Achilles, it was supernatural just flipping back to writing and getting into that. So I'm super locked into this writing thing, and I feel like I kind of carried that with me throughout the rest of my college career, knowing that it's not just basketball here. Like there's other things that you need to focus on and to put your attention towards. And while I'm looking at my friends, I have some friends and teammates that they're all in on this basketball. As much as I'm all in now, I just have this in the back of my mind knowing that, yo, you could lose this at any point, any time. So it is a blessing that it happened, blessing in disguise, because it allowed me to tap into something a passion that I had growing up. And I always wanted to influence people and impact people. And I was using basketball as a way to do it. But now I'm like, I could do this with writing. I could do this with storytelling. I still have the goal that I put out for myself and wanted to impact people, I could still do that. Even though basketball is taken away from me, I could still do this with writing and storytelling and journaling and all of these and all this whole other avenue, something I know nothing about. But I think like just that identity crisis, I think it came when I had basketball actually completely gone. That's when I was like, yo, because I wanted to be like one of those person that's an athlete and a writer
Yeah.
simultaneously. That's why I wanted my identity to be. Okay, you're a basketball player and you're a writer. Then I had basketball taken away from me, and I'm like, okay, I'm only a writer, and I'm up against all of these authors out here because it's not like you're a basketball writer, like you're in your avenue of your own. Now I'm like, I'm just an author, and I'm like, can I actually like put myself up against all these other authors? Like they've been doing this forever. They know all the ins and outs. I don't really know anything about this community, this universe. And I kind of gained a lot of doubt there. I was
Mm.
like, I lost confidence because I'm like, yo, I don't know if I could actually compare myself to these people. And I started realizing it's the same as in basketball. When I was in basketball, I'm looking left and right. I'm trying to compare myself to these people, and that's not the way to go about it. So the identity crisis, I feel like for me, journaling and being in tune, it really came from just like I spoke about earlier, being proud of the things that you've accomplished and what you're doing, and understanding that there's no right or wrong path. Like there's no right or wrong path. I'm exactly where I'm meant to be right now. This is part of the journey. This is part of discovering what it is that I'm meant to ultimately do for the world. Like everything that we're getting, all these experiences is only going into your bag for you to continue and grow and grow and grow. So I think that's what it is really just seeing the bigger picture of things, understanding that like I said, every step is the destination, and that's what kind of helps me with the identity crisis. Otherwise, like my boy was telling me the other day, is like he calls me and he's like, yo, how are you? Like really, how are you? Like not playing basketball anymore? Because I know that can't be easy. And I'm like, yo, it's the hardest thing ever, bro. Like it's so hard because this is something that you grew up every single day grinding towards, and now all of a sudden it's a complete flip. Like you're not putting in those same hours every day. Your schedule is not as much as it was all over the place. So you found comfort in that. You know what I'm saying? You found comfort in being productive and busy. At the end of the day, you go to sleep comfortably knowing that I put in work today. Once basketball is done, it was so hard to go to sleep at the end of the day because I'm like, yo, you're lazy,
Dang, bro.
bro. You're not working hard. You're not organized. You're not disciplined. Like you don't realize how much sports like makes you productive. And I want to say every branch that comes from production, like really like organization, having a plan, having a packed schedule,
Discipline.
like those things, and be able to check them off every day. Like bro, we would lift, we would do our individual skills, we would practice, then you have class, then you have study hall, like whatever the case is, all of these things, and we're doing it every single day.
Every day, bro. Probably get more work in after in a
Yo, you
later.
know what I'm
Yeah, I'm
saying? Like
knowing. Yep.
every day we're doing that. To go from that, then to go to maybe doing one or two things, like there's still the production there, depending on what your perspective is. But it's just not having not been accustomed to that. It was a huge transitional shift. Identity crisis was out of the roof. Was because it's like, yo, am I really working as hard as I should be working? Um,
Man.
I think yeah, that it was tough. It was tough, and I think even still now, it's something that continues to motivate me. I realize I cannot do everything every day. It's not realistic anymore. Like outside of college, like you have so many responsibilities. The real world consists of doing so many things. So it's about learning how to disperse the tasks throughout the week. I feel like now instead of like what my schedule will look like in a day during college is kind of what it looks like 4 or 5
That's
days in
funny.
the week,
I
bro.
feel you.
You know, and I'm like,
Yeah, with classes and everything, we did a lot.
yeah. And I think the comfort comes from like I said, understanding the bigger picture, man. Understanding that this is where I'm meant to be. This is these all of these little things. I'm every week, every month, every year, I'm slowly getting better at the holistic plan. I'm slowly growing. It's just an awareness that I'm appreciative to have. Otherwise, like, people are gonna they stay. I empathize for people so much. That's something I need to work on. Is that I have too much empathy for other people. I don't know if too much is
I was about to
is
say I
real,
never heard that, but
but it's like I really feel, bro, and it's like
deeply.
deeply, especially for my brothers, especially for them. So it's like no matter like what I'm going through, it's never. I'm always so grateful. I'm always so grateful because I'm progressing year by year, and I'm living in a comfortable way. But that none of that means anything if they aren't, if they aren't living in a comfortable way, or if my mom isn't, or my cousins, whatever the case is. So that's um that's something that continues to keep me sane and to keep me on my path, to keep me productive, is no matter knowing like, okay, I have, you know, I feel like I lost out on this, or I feel like I'm missing out on this. I always have these people in my life to kind of humble me and keep me hungry
Mm,
and be like, yo, this is like you're blessed, you're grateful, you should, you're grateful
absolutely.
for whatever you have, and yeah, you gotta kind of keep doing better so you could get them in a place where they could feel good too.
Something that another thing too, I think that basketball shows you is how seasonal certain relationships are.
Mm.
You know, talk to me on about your journey of navigating relationships and what it's really been like when you've either just seen how distance has created, like, I mean, or how, yeah, distance has created kind of separation from somebody
Hmm.
versus, or talk to me about as well. Have you ever had moments where you've seen that a relationship no longer aligns and you kind of have to let go?
Mm.
And what has that kind of been like for you?
Yeah, I think I've always been a type of person that like people will reach out to when they need to express themselves, because like I've been known to be like a safe space for a lot of people, and I think I got to a point where I realized there's a little toxicity in that too. It could be a little bit like having to hold all of that energy has an impact on myself. And so, after some time, I started realizing the importance of protecting that energy,
Mm,
but at the same time, giving space for people to feel welcome, to feel like I'm not, pushing them away. I think being in sports as an athlete, a high level athlete, that is tough because you're away from family and friends for so long in the year. And I think I felt a lot of guilt from being away because I knew that my people were going through a lot. And I think having that distance, it created this like false reality with people. Like everything was always good because I was never really in the mix. When it came to my family back home and the troubles that they were going through, I wasn't in the mix. When it came to my dad, I was not in the mix. So whenever I go see anyone, it's always blessed. It's always like good vibes. It's always, and for me, it was like there was some false perception in that. It
wow.
wasn't real, and I was like, I didn't like that. So I think that's what basketball and distance did to me in my relationships, is that I just have a healthy relationship with everybody, but I don't know how real it is. I don't know how authentic it is because I wasn't in the mix with them.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like when you're around someone, when you live, like my brother, for example, that grew up with my dad, they don't have the greatest relationship because you're in the house every day. You see the ins and outs and the bad and the good. So it creates some type of distance. I never got that. So me and my dad, when we see each other, we're like this.
I feel you, bro.
Same thing with my brothers back home. None of my brothers, I have four of them back home. One of them is with my dad. I don't think either of them have a good relationship with my mom.
Mm,
But me and my mom are like this. My brothers within themselves, they don't have a healthy relationship. But me and them individually, we're all like this. Like we're all tight. And I'm like, I think that's what distance is, a pro in a sense, but also it's the con because I don't know how inclined they are to speak to me about the deep, deep, deep,
wow.
authentic things, and so I felt guilt. There's a guilt there that I hold And I'm like, bro, I distanced myself so long because I want to go and chase this dream for them that I wasn't even there with them throughout the mix. And and for a long time I was hurt by that, but it's like I can't even that you can't continue to carry with you because you have to move on. You have to learn how to just okay, what's the next step? How do I make it better now instead of just holding on to that guilt I felt in the past? But that's a reality. Like you be away for so long that when you see someone, all you want to do is kind of just be, you don't want to cause problems. You don't want to do whatever
Absolutely.
because you don't get to see them that often. So I think a lot of my relationships are like that. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to find like, we spoke about like that community that you gotta have a village. You have to have your foot down and be able to plant it somewhere. That's super important. So for me personally, I didn't get that. But for other people, I think that's something that you should actually encourage for yourself and try to do and continue to do. But I think that's something that I was created in terms of just being away for the game. Yeah, bro.
What about navigating like people that you don't align with?
Yeah,
Like how have you went about like maybe it's people on your team, maybe
yeah,
it's people in work, whatever. Like you're around people and it's like we don't really align.
yeah,
Like how do you navigate guarding your heart
yeah. I
and
think
balancing like that
yeah,
dynamic?
that's a good question. I think it comes natural. I'm I can't be fake, bro. I'm not good at being fake, and people aren't good at being real. So when we come together, it clashes, bro. Like they're trying to keep up this facade while me, I'm saying raw stuff. I'm saying authentic things. Like you could feel it in my energy. So it's not that they don't want it. People like that authenticity, but they're afraid of looking at themselves in the mirror. They're not able to have those same conversations. So I think
Mm,
they step away by themselves, bro. I don't even push. I will never push. I don't like
that's
pushing
a
people
really good
away.
point, bro.
But I can't be fake, and I can't have fake conversations. I don't like lying. I'm as real as it gets. So when you're around me, you feel that energy, and the conversations we're gonna have are meaningful conversations. I'm not gonna have some nonchalant random stuff that people like to talk
Yo,
about. So
oh,
they'll start feeling that uncomfortability, and it's
thousand
not
percent.
even about me. It's themselves. I had to realize that. I'm like, yo, why are people moving like that? But it's them. Like it's that insecurity. It's that inability to sit with your emotions. I'm gonna confront that. So I think they move and they distance themselves on their own.
1000%.
On their own.
1000%. You that's something I've always picked up about you. You've always been true to yourself.
Mm.
And the blessing in that, and this is a lesson for everybody listening to, like this is why it's so important to go down that path and cultivate a knowledge of self, a
Mm-hmm.
relationship with yourself, and having the courage to stay true to yourself. Because what hinders a lot of people from doing that is they're afraid to be alone,
Mm-hmm.
right? A lot of times when you want to go down the path of self-discovery and figuring out who you are, it's going to require some isolation and solitude,
Yeah.
right? But a lot of people are so afraid of being alone that they'd rather stay in relationships that maybe deep down they know don't align
Yep.
over stepping into this new territory of being alone
Yep.
and all this uncertainty. But something that you just really hit with was how you stay true to yourself, and naturally that either attracts people to you or it propels people away.
Exactly.
Because I remember vividly when we first got to Adelphi my sophomore year, and how true to yourself you were. Yeah, I don't really do those things. This is how I move. I'm good on that. Like I'm
Yeah.
chilling, and just the way it naturally shifted how like who would be around you a lot and who
Yeah.
kind of was like, oh, he's on that time. Not
Yeah.
that it didn't change like the respect and love.
Yeah.
We all rocked with each other, but you
Exactly.
know how teams are. Like
Exactly.
you're gonna be a little bit more tighter
Yeah.
or around certain people more, just depending on
Yeah.
values, priorities, what you do. And I just remember, especially those first couple of weekends, everybody's like, "Yo, let's go out, let's go do these things." You're like, "Bro,
Straight.
I'm cool like this. I'm doing this. I move like this.
Yeah.
Conversations the way you indulge, I do that." And just naturally, it started to shift.
Yeah.
Dynamics. Like for me, somebody like me, I drew in really close.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I like that energy. I like how deep he is. Other people are, yeah, Josh not on that time.
Yeah.
We going this way. You feel me?
But you know what's crazy? I didn't even touch on like the attraction too. Like I spoke about people walking away, but bro, man, being true to yourself, you don't even realize how many people crave that. They have an inability to do it, but the same people that you think that were pushing me away they're coming to see me when no one's around.
Fat,
You know what I'm
yo,
saying?
you're talking right now,
Like,
bro. Yes.
And for me, I was like, oh, I would not even expect this person
Yes.
but people crave that type of conversation and that authenticity and being in tune with your emotions. They just don't know how. So I would get people that would low key come, but they would come to me on the lows.
So true, bro. I
On the
know exactly what
lows.
you're talking about. I know, no, real talk though. I know, bro. That's like in a
Yeah.
group setting, you know,
Yeah, in a
everybody
group
cool,
setting, it's not happening.
but they're taking note. Like, dang,
Yeah.
like why is he like that, man?
Yeah.
Like I resonate with
Yeah.
that. I want to be similar. Like
Yeah.
I want to be able to I want to be able to have my homeboys, 4 or 5 of my teammates come into my dorm and be like, yo, we going out, about to do all this, yada yada, and be like, bro, I'm chilling, bro.
Chilling, bro.
Like I'm
Straight.
cooling for real.
Yeah.
And have the courage to stand on that.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't even do that. I'm chilling. You know, that's such a good point because slowly, one by one, dudes started to come around
Yeah.
you and have those deep conversations. And it's just it's a beautiful representation of the beauty of staying true to yourself.
Yeah, it means a lot because I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, right? I'm just trying to do what feels right or whatever the case is. I don't know if I'm seen like an outcast or whatever the case is, but throughout the years, I'm starting to see that even like throughout in DMs, the messages I'll get in DMs based off of some of the, I could be posting the corniest captions or quotes about feelings and emotions and things, thinking like, yo, people are going to think X, Y, Z, but then I'll get a message from someone that I was completely not expecting.
Come on, bro.
Like, yo, brother, like, I really appreciate how you said that and you put my thoughts in the perfect words and whatever. And that means so much to me because we don't really know what we're doing out here, but we're just trying to do what feels right, what we think is the right thing. You never know what's going to be the right thing until you look back at it in a few years. And you're like, shit, I should have done this and this instead. But getting those messages from people, like, that is inspiring. Like, people don't understand that, okay, I'm putting stuff that's inspiring you bringing that to me is inspiring me, and it's a cycle.
Inspiration is an infinity sign.
Yes, that's your logo, bro. It's facts.
Come on, bro.
It is. It really is. And like you have to. The more you do it, the more you're true to yourself. The more you're gonna inspire other people to do the same thing.
That's some good stuff, bro. The holding space, staying true to yourself. It's all really good stuff. I want to take a change of direction and talk about my brother's book, My Favorite Nightmare. Crazy self-published author. I remember, I think it was my sophomore year after you got injured and you were, you know, going through what you were going through and we were spending time together. You mentioning like a book is in your future and you were writing and journaling and doing a lot of that. So to be here now, bro, where this is like a physical thing now, you know, 5-6 years later is crazy. So congrats. I've seen the journey, bro. I've watched the whole thing, and it's been incredibly inspiring to see you do this, to have the courage to first write something so vulnerable and put it out there, but then, you know, go to these you know, spoken word sessions and do your poetry, you know, do your book signing, like being in public, speaking to people who, you know, may not have known you before, or people that did know you, getting your book signing. I'm like, bro, seeing you do this stuff, bro, it's like, it's crazy, and it's so inspiring to me more than you know. I mean, like, I've told you something that I've wanted to do is write a book. So having somebody in my immediate life that has done it, it goes to that quote, like, you've given me permission to do the same. You know, by you having the courage to shine your light and be yourself and express yourself fully, you've given other people the permission to do the same. Seeing you doing this, it was like, I can write a book. That's what it made me feel. And that's what inspiration is.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to give you your flowers, but I wanted to touch on, so my favorite nightmare. Talk to me about the beginning of this process. What even made you feel led to want to write a book? And then what brought you to the title My Favorite Nightmare?
My Favorite Nightmare. It's been a journey, man. And I really did started writing that book after the injury.
So this is what, 2019?
2020.
2020, okay,
2020,
yeah, 20, yeah, I'm bugging, yep.
Because my Achilles was the end of 2019. So 2020, that's when the idea came into my mind. And I remember, I only know one person that wrote a book, and it was my high school team. We had like a team psychologist, essentially. It was the only time in my career that we had a team psychologist. Super amazing lady. And she had written a book, but outside of her, that's not in my universe. I don't know anyone that's written a book. I don't have any idea what it takes. So the idea first came into my mind, like I want to write a book, but I had no idea how it was gonna happen.
Yeah,
I
right.
didn't know how to do it. I
Right.
was like, bro, how real is this even? Like, how realistic is this goal? And I already had a bunch of poetry written in my notes, my journals, or my phone, things that I things that I felt, growing up or experienced growing up from high school up until that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, is it gonna be a collection of poetry? Um, is it gonna be a short story, whatever? Like, I didn't really know how I was gonna go about doing it. I just started writing, and I remember, like I said, I was going through a rough time in my relationship at the time. Like it was crazy, and I would I would be up at night, unable to sleep, and all I could do was write. All I could do was like to get these thoughts out of my head. I had to just write. Whether I'm writing about the girl herself,
Mm.
whether I'm writing about my brothers, whether I'm writing about my mom, my family, like I literally could not sleep. And I remember this one text I sent to my best friend. I'm like, yo, I'm sending this to you because I can't send it to her, and I just need to go to sleep. So I'm gonna send it to you, pretending that I'm sending it to her. And it was like this long ass text, long ass poem about love, about learning learning and accepting the cycle of life. And I titled it My Favorite Nightmare. And I sent it to her. And it was like 3 in the morning. And she's like, she messaged me. She's like, I can't stop crying. This is one of the most beautiful things I read. And it was like just a short paragraph. And that's where the book stemmed from.
Wow.
That's where the book stemmed from. And
Can
it's
you could you maybe reiterate some of the message from that poem? Like what was kind of the substance? Like just from memory. Like it doesn't have to be verbatim, but like do you remember like what you were trying to or what kind of came out of you from writing that?
yeah.
Like what message?
Um I think
Like what do you think made her cry?
it was the fact of how real it was. Like it was real, and it's like sometimes you experience such hardship in life, and that's just the reality of it. Like you can't do nothing about it. Like I was expressing something this is a nightmare for me, and waking up from this nightmare is even worse because now I realize that this is actually true. You know,
Mm.
so it's like the nightmare in itself wasn't even bad. Now I wake up, I'm like, oh shit,
This nightmare is a real thing.
it's a real thing. You're really not here. You're really not here. And like I said, I was going through a hard time emotionally, but physically, like losing basketball at the same time. And my goal was, how do I intertwine these two loves into one story? So it's the same thing. I wake up, I had dreamed that I just dropped 30. I wake up and I'm like, shit, I can't walk, bro. This is real. And I think being able to accept that hardship, learning how to make it a friend and not an enemy, and how it could motivate you to become better, learning how to love the adversity is where my favorite nightmare comes from. And the goals, if you read the book, you could read it one time and every chapter is talking about a love between Hakeem and the main character, the other girl in the story. But if you reread it and you put the perspective of he's talking about basketball, it's the same message. And that was my goal. Is like I wanted to be like you could take it one lane and be like this is about relationships, or he's talking about his love for basketball.
Mm.
And I wanted to write a story where you could kind of intertwine the two.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow, that's deep.
thank you.
Sheesh, bro. The acceptance of adversity, to love the adversity.
Mhm.
Speak on that. Like, how do you cultivate a love for adversity? And I think that's such a beautiful perspective
Mhm.
and mindset to carry through life.
Love for adversity. First of all, it takes having gone through enough challenges. It's not like you go through one. It's not like I learned how to love it right away
Right.
instantly. Like you don't like this out. You don't like this feeling. It's an uncomfortable feeling at first, but man, to have gone through the whole rehab of tearing my Achilles, to have gone through the whole rehab of having a heartbreak, um, and just to see the world, like to see how much other people are impacted. Like the person that I thought was holding, the power to my heart being broken. That person has a whole story for herself, right? So being able to understand how the world works, being able to understand how humans work, and not looking at it like everything is happening to me. Like I'm looking at it like everything is happening to me. This is bad, but things are happening for me. I'm learning, I'm growing from this experience. Um my ex, bro, I lost a lot of confidence from that relationship.
Talk to me.
I lost a lot of confidence because I was like, I looked at myself as someone that was like very talented, very powerful, like, and ultimately just a good human being. I looked at myself like a good human being. So when that relationship didn't work, not that it didn't work, but how it turned out, I was like, what did I do? Like I was looking at myself like, why? Like I don't. How did this happen? Like what is it? What's wrong with me? Right?
Wow.
And I lost a lot of confidence in myself. I didn't even realize like I was letting that stuff compound year after year, and I let other people belittle myself, all for a few years to go by, and then for that person to realize that I was actually the best person for them. And then now that all these years went by, and I lost all the confidence, so I'm not even the person they actually think I am. So
Wow.
they think I'm the right person for them, but I'm not even that person anymore. I'm not confident anymore. I don't trust my instincts anymore. I don't think I'm capable of the things that I thought I was capable of before. And I'm like, how could I let someone else dictate my value? That doesn't even make sense. How do I let someone else belittle me, my character, the color of my skin, like things like that, make me look at it like I'm not him, like I'm not that person. Um, I think looking at it like that, it made me realize like so much. There's so much out in the world that conspire to make you lose confidence. And for me, it was like you have to look internally. You have to you have to have a faith and trust your instincts. That's what made me realize that like things are happening for me, not to me. So all this adversity, all of these challenges, like it's what made me be who I am right now. It's what
Mm.
made me have the thought process I have right now. I genuinely don't think I would go back and change some of the things. Like my injury, like I was meant to go through that. I was meant to deal with that pain and those challenges to come out a better athlete. I think I came back with a much stronger mindset mentality than I did before the injury. Even though
Facts.
I wasn't as athletic as I was or whatever, I was stronger mentally, and that's something that you can't teach. You have to go through so many things and so many lessons in life. It's not something that you could hear that someone's gonna tell you. Like you have to experience it. So the challenges, the adversity, all of it is happening for you. It's not happening to you. You're not getting attacked. If you do have that thought or that process or that thought process, that is that's not God. That's the devil. That's people trying to like make it seem like what your goal is harder than it is to take. You ever have that feeling like, okay, I want to do this, but it's so challenging. Like it's so hard. It's whatever. And as soon as you're done, you're like, shit, that was light. That was great. I feel
Yeah.
amazing.
Facts.
Things are never as hard as it seems. It's the thing that started. You have energy against you that doesn't want you to start it, but it's as soon as you start it and you complete it, you realize it was not that hard at all. It was not that challenging, and
Man.
these are things that are meant to help you be better. So that's what it is. Like you have to love adversity. You have to love um, these challenges because it's being uncomfortable that's helping you grow. You know that as an athlete, it's only outside of your comfort zone that you're actually going to expand and grow. Staying comfortable, staying in it is
Wow.
not what life is meant to be. Life is meant to be like this.
So true.
It's meant to be ups and downs, ebbs and flows, and
Bro, that's powerful. The you said it earlier too, and it's so true. Like nothing is as bad as it seems.
mhm,
That as it seems part is so important because what happens is whenever you're faced with a challenge or adversity or a situation, your mind immediately places a narrative on this thing. And if you're not mindful of that narrative will drive your actions and how you experience
yeah,
it. So if I view this situation as the worst thing ever. That's the narrative I'm putting on it. Why me? This is horrible. Oh my gosh. That's how you're going to experience it. Right. And it's so important to separate yourself from how things seem and really take a bird's eye view. And that's where you cultivate perspective. That's where you cultivate understanding of the situation at hand. Like, yeah, I'm going through a heartbreak. It hurts. It's painful. I'm down bad. But at the same time, I know that heartbreak is one of the greatest catalysts for growth. Heartbreak is one of the greatest catalysts for change. These moments that are incredibly difficult to go through usually mean that they're going to lead to the greatest development. I know that within every challenge or every situation of adversity, there's an equivalent seed of opportunity in it, right? So like that's taking the bird's eye view and really looking at everything so you can cultivate the right perspective. Then that perspective dictates how you experience it, rather than being consumed by the narrative that your mind immediately jumps to.
Exactly.
Because of the pain or how it feels or how it seems. You know, so I think that's, you really.
It's always all a holistic approach. Like you have to look at the spiritual side of it, the physical side of it, the mental side. I love that. The
emotional
side of it. You know, like you have to take everything into consideration and be like, okay, how's my relationship with the higher power? How's my relationship with my body? How's my relationship with my heart? Like, these are all different avenues that they all come together to make you feel like, okay, you know, I'm moving forward in this space. And some people are not able to tap into each aspect.
Come on.
You have to.
Come on. This is from, this was something that stuck with me. It's from part 6 of your book, The Tunnel.
The Tunnel.
Yeah. And it's what it says under. It says, it's my belief that we're all part of the same team. We may vary in colors, but we all descend with the same leaves. Although our roots, branches, and twigs may differ, ultimately, we all come from the same tree. See, I grew up thinking to act right meant to act white. And at night, a hoodie could instigate my last night. That knowledge doesn't come from the books I see or the books I read. It comes from all the people that think every black person looks like me. But see, I'm precious. I'm fine. And yes, my color of essence shines. So recognize that color is more than what meets the eye. If the blind can fall in love like Valentine, then why can't our races mix and intertwine? Beautiful, bro. Like that's you.
That's me.
That's you. Talk to me about like, what is that? What comes to your mind when you hear it? Somebody's reading your words back to you, but what do you get from hearing that paragraph, hearing that poem?
Diversity and embracing diversity. And, you know, I see a kid that grew up being told how the world is, you know, being told that you have to move this way. You have to do this in order to be seen as okay. But man, life is meant to be lived. And I know that sounds like it could sound, you know, cliche or whatever, but life is meant to be lived. If I have an older person telling me their experience, now you just instilled all of your worry, all of your, you know, your faults or whatever onto me, as opposed to letting me live and experience the world for myself. It's so dope hearing someone else read my writing, or seeing someone, like, you know, have their book. Whenever someone sends me a message, be like, yo, I just finished your book, or I just bought your book, or whatever the case is, it's such a surreal feeling. But all of these poems and these words, these are things, I think at the beginning of every chapter is a poem, and those are stuff that I already had written before the book, like throughout high school. So whenever I listen to that, it reminds me of younger Josh. Like, people read a book and they think that you're going through these emotions right now at the moment, currently. It's like when artists write a song, I'm like, yo, I wrote this song about how I felt 2 years ago, but I'm not in that space anymore.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm not in that space, but to see where I was when I was younger and look at it, I'm like, I'm honestly like proud of myself to be able to put my feelings into words, and it allows everyone to kind of interpret it in their own way. Like for me, I'm looking at that and I'm like, okay, it's diversity. It's embracing, you know, other cultures. I had the saying I wrote in the book, the more diversity we embrace, the more we learn about ourselves.
Wow.
Because you can't be stuck. True, bro. You can't be stuck in one mind. You have to be able to see the world and travel and experience all these different things. That's how we're going to learn about who we truly are and what we actually care about. You can't say you
Diversity.
care about something and you don't know the more you learn, the less you know.
So true, bro. Diversity of thought, diversity of perspective, diversity of race,
Yep.
culture, everything. Dude, just being open.
Being open is gonna allow you to learn who you are and so much better, so much easier.
You said sometimes pretending to be strong is far more dangerous than admitting you need help.
Yep. Say that one more time.
Sometimes pretending to be strong is far more dangerous than admitting you need help.
Amen. Amen. And men, we do that all the time. Men, we do that all the time. You don't understand how safe it is to actually open up. Obviously, you obviously have to be careful with who you're opening up to.
Yes.
You have to have some type of awareness of who you can trust. But once you have that person that you feel like you could trust for real, it's huge. Because pretending you're okay, all that leads to is that at some point your brain actually genuinely believes that you're good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're tricking your brain to believe all of these feelings you're feeling is normal. Now you're in a space where you feel eager, you feel tight, you feel anxious, and your brain's like, yeah, this is normal. Because you told yourself you're good. Everybody that walks by, you say, yeah, I'm fine. How we speak to ourselves out loud, that has an impact on our body and our mind and in the way we move. So you have to speak reality and how you feel. That stuff is going to slowly start to crack out. But if you keep saying, yeah, I'm good, I'm all right, this is fine, that's a lot more dangerous.
So true, bro. And like you said, it's about being intentional, because there's certain people where they don't need access.
Yeah, you don't need to be telling your business to just random people or anybody out there. It's very, very important. You have to know who you could trust in your circle. You have to have, I don't know how you build that awareness, but it's very, very important to have that in your circle.
Yeah, bro. And there's a difference between guarding your heart and pretending.
Yeah.
You know, like if I'm around someone, or I'm in a space where, this ain't the place to open up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guard my heart. I'm gonna move in a way where, I'm being mindful. But like, I'm not gonna pretend to be in a state that I'm not.
Yep. I think about some of my family members. I'm not gonna name the person, but they guard. They're
guarded.
They're extremely guarded. The wall is up.
It's a wall. It's not it's not a boundary. It's a wall.
It's a wall.
Yeah. It's a prison.
Brick wall, bro. Yep. On every corner, and I'm like, it hurts. It hurts me to see that, because I'm like, I know you, and I know you want to express it. I know you don't actually feel this way,
fam.
But
they just like you don't know how. It's you don't know how to express.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been taught. If you've been conditioned and programmed to push down, suppress, or avoid certain emotions, bro, and you've done that for decades,
that stuff starts to create more and more areas of concern, because now you think people are against you.
Well, always.
Always this,
fam,
this.
How many times have we seen where a woman is expressing themselves emotionally and a man can't meet them emotionally because they haven't done that? So what does it turn to? The man gets angry.
Yep.
Or avoidant. I'm just go away.
Fuck all that.
Or she bugging. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like she don't, she's crazy.
Yep.
But it's like, bro, in reality, it's just what she brings up triggers something in you that you're not comfortable with.
Yep.
So you project onto her that we need to stop this, right? Or I'm gonna
feel like they're crazy.
You make them feel like they're crazy. I got to take over the steering wheel because you presenting me with all this stuff is making me feel very uncomfortable.
Yep.
Yep. So
it's a lot more dangerous, man.
It is.
It's a lot more.
It is, bro.
And it leads to, like I said, it's gonna add more and more. You're gonna think nonsense, and at some point, people are not gonna be able to relate to you
at all.
So it's like, yeah, I don't know how to disentangle this family member, but I'm working on it. How I try to do it is basically, like I said, I open up.
Yeah, you gotta always take lead.
You know what I'm saying? I open up, and honestly, it's been ever since my book came out, I've seen some change. Like, one of my biggest goals for myself was writing the book for my family, and I didn't really receive any backlash, even though there's a lot of vulnerable things in there.
Right.
I haven't received much backlash, and the people haven't been able to express myself the way I did and be vulnerable. I could start seeing little things. Their wall starts to break down a little bit, so that makes me happy for sure.
I love that. Give a summary of what My Favorite Nightmare is about. If somebody's thinking about getting it, how do you what would you say to them as far as a summary? What was, you kind of talked about your thought process behind it, but give some perspective into what's actually inside of these these pages.
The goal, So the goal is all kind of different to what actually came about.
Mm-hmm.
But the goal was to write a story about how connecting authentically with people helps you find inner peace. So that was the bigger goal that the message that I was trying to send out. How connecting and being authentic helps you find inner peace. And the main character Hakeem is a young man that he's going throughout life. The story goes. The story is in high school. So Hakeem's in high school, and it's the divorce of his parents. So he's going through a lot internally with that, and at the same time he meets Jasmine, which is the girl that he falls in love with. So the story kind of goes about him experiencing life with Jasmine, experiencing life with the divorce of his parents, and how he copes through adversity and challenges while still trying to chase his goals. So there's a lot of hidden gems in there,
Absolutely.
a lot of self help while combining poetic
It's
elements to
beautiful.
the book. So I wanted to write a fictional story, but also have a lot of self help in it, but like slick in it through storytelling. How can people see themselves in Hakeem's character? And I had my second book signing. I had a lot of questions asking whether Hakeem represents me in my life, and I'm like, absolutely, the book is inspired by my life and my stories, but it's equally inspired by all the lives of the people I grew up with, like my brothers and my cousins. How can I write? How can I create a main character that represents all of us?
Is that why you went that direction and not writing specifically about you?
Absolutely, the book is I could easily say it's for my brothers. I wanted to, how do I represent their story? How do I
Wow.
make them feel like they could, they could see themselves in Hakeem's shoes? And every chapter is like there's a different lesson within the story, all to create one long, compilation of just life, the complex nature of life and love in general.
Wow.
But yeah, the main character and the inspiration behind the stories is from me, from all of but I have 5 younger brothers, and we're about 20 cousins
Dang.
that I grew up. This is not just random people I never seen. I grew up around. I'm the oldest of all of them. I'm the first
It's
grandchild.
insane.
So I think one of the parts is called the first grandchild, because my
Yep.
grandma would always. That's what he would always say. He would always call me my first grandson. Whenever I call my grandma till this day, she's like, my first grandson.
Oh gosh.
So I think it's one of the first or second parts of the book. But yeah, I wanted to write a story where we could all see ourselves in that character. Like Hakeem, he has a younger sister in the book. I don't have a younger sister. I have 5 younger brothers. But I felt like a younger sister could represent the younger sibling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's
Yeah.
why I want this. The younger sister represents all the younger siblings for me.
Yeah.
And Hakeem definitely inspired by me and my stories, the injuries that I talk about, the love. It's not just one love, but how do I compel all the things I love into this?
That's beautiful, bro.
So it was such a fun project, man. It was such a learning experience, and I can't wait to have my next book out
Yes.
and future books after that, because you learn so much about yourself. You're able to find peace in so many things that you kind of dug and hid in your past. So yeah, I encourage people to write a book.
Come on, bro.
I encourage people to, whether you don't know how to publish it, bro, but the 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 amount of things that you learn about yourself just through writing the story, it's
Yeah, I gotta tap in.
it's huge.
Shout out to my boy. If you could pull 2 lessons that you would want to share with the people listening from your book, what would they be?
From this book,
Anything. 2 lessons. And
two
obviously,
lessons.
there's so many. There's so much in it, but just 2 that come to your mind after this conversation as we're talking with the book right here. If you could just think of two lessons that you would pull in this moment and share from your
Well,
book.
off the bat, what we spoke about just earlier, saying sometimes pretending to be, how do we say it? Pretending to be
Pretending to be strong
yeah.
is far more dangerous than
So pretending to be strong is
honest.
far more dangerous than trying to hide your feelings or whatever the case is. But I think that lesson, what that represents is, I would tell people, like, having the courage to be true to yourself. That's one message in this book that I really hope people take, is having the courage to be true to yourself, having the courage to speak about the vulnerable things in your life, because that's how we're going to connect authentically with other people. It's not through fakeness or whatever, because you feel that energy when you sit next to someone and you talk about real authentic emotions. They're going to see themselves in you, because we all can relate to happiness. I talk about, we all can relate to sadness, we all can relate to heartbreak. You can't relate to the specifics in it, but that general feeling is something that we can relate to. So if I'm able to be courageous enough to speak about that feeling, that's how I'm going to create an authentic relationship with someone else.
So good, man.
And that's the relationships you want, is authenticity, it's transparency, it's raw. Like, you want that type of connection with someone. You don't want something that's based off of some superstition or mainstream whatever. Like, that's where I talk about, like, creating authentic relationships helps yourself find inner peace. So now, if I'm able to be courageous, I'm able to talk about my feelings. Now my circle is an authentic circle. This is what's gonna help me feel more at peace.
It's good, bro.
So that's one message that I hope people will get from it. And also just the relatability aspect, man. How much we go through similar things. I think everybody experiences, we can experience similar things, but it's just at a different chapter of our lives. We all experience it at different chapters of our lives. And there's a way to connect in that. And you cannot judge people, bro. Like, he may be going through this in this chapter, but you might experience that in another chapter. So I look at everybody's experiences and I hold on to it, because it's like, how can I judge you for going through this or going through that when there's a reason why you're doing this? There's something from your childhood or from your past that's leading you to move in this way or to act in this way. That's why when you're asking me earlier about how do I kind of disconnect from not unaligned relationships, I don't really do that. It happens naturally, and I don't want to disconnect from people, because I feel that empathy that I feel towards people is too strong. Like, I understand why you're doing this nonsense. I understand why you're acting like this way right now. I see it. Like, I'm able to see that in people. I never look at someone and see the bad in them. Is it a flaw? I don't know. Is it a flaw? Because when it comes to women now it gets complicated, because I only see the beauty in you. You know what I'm saying? All of these other not false, but all of the negative aspects that you're bringing out or that you're saying that other people show, there's a reason why that's there. And I want to know the reason.
Come on, bro.
So I think we go through things in different chapters, and we have to learn how to give grace to people. That's another thing those are the two things I would say.
That's really good, bro. And
not bad, huh?
Huh?
It's not bad, bro.
No, that's great. You have you always had a respect for women?
Bro, absolutely.
Because of
my background, bro.
Because I remember that was something we connected on too at Adelphi. Was like, I respected so deeply was just the way you carried yourself, especially around women.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you would hear some of the conversations, and you know how it's college, bro. But,
God damn.
But
I still think about some of them conversations. I was like, yo,
we would be in there wilding,
bro.
Like, so
but that's college. That's college, man.
It is, but at the same time, I think college is a great time to cultivate maturity and depth. And that's something from my experience, that was an area that really changed for me when I went through everything I went through. My whole life kind of went on its back, and I started to view women differently because the relationships I had built up, I was like, that's not really true to who I am and how I want to live. And I started viewing, women differently. And you just spoke about it, but that was something that you've always, held high in your life, and I've seen. It's just the way that you carry yourself, especially around women, the way you talk about them, the way you are when you're around them, the way you talk about women that are in your life when they're not around, like all of that I picked up on. So speak on that a little bit.
Yeah. No, women, man. I was raised by a single mom, so that in itself I see. And my mom has 5 sisters, so it's just they all raised me. It was my mom, my aunts, and my grandma. And that's what I was raised by, is all women, Black, strong women. So I have a high respect for women. And my cousins, I have so many cousins that are girls and that I grew up around. So it's like, whenever I see a woman outside in the street, if it's an elderly lady, I'm thinking about my grandma. If it's someone my mom's age, I'm thinking about my mom. If it's my younger women, I'm thinking about my cousins. Those are the first people that come into my mind. So I'm gonna treat them with that same respect. Naturally, that's something that I just have instilled in me. I was raised by all women. There's no way I'm gonna look at a woman and be like, whatever, like negative. Like I know why you're moving like this. I understand why. Like life is not easy for you. Life is not. So there's no way that I could do that. And then just when it comes to like college and the women that I got to encounter around my age, it was more so like I was just so fascinated by, you know, the things that they went through and how,
Yeah, bro.
what I'm saying, how they're able to still keep going. Cause girls go through a lot, man. Like guys are dogs. Guys are very, very, very can be, sorry. Some guys can be very heartless when it comes to girls, especially in college. And for me, I'm not here to play the hero or be your savior either. I didn't realize it. So when I come and talk to someone and I'm moving how I'm moving, I'm approaching it. Now they're like, yo, I haven't seen this before.
Ever. I know.
You know?
I know exactly. Yeah,
They're like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't seen this before. And they're like, okay, he must love me. He must, whatever the case is.
Yeah, I've never had somebody ask me that.
And it's like, I didn't get it back then, but it's like, okay, I see how you may, interpret it that way. And I think you helped me out with this in college. You said something where like, when you meet a girl, you have to off the bat tell them what your intentions are.
1,000%.
Like off the bat, tell them exactly what it is you feel. And because like it just avoids so many issues later.
100%. Yeah, especially
like
I know exactly. Yeah, I know exactly.
Bro, because I was
Like,
not. Those
bro.
were not my intentions. I'm genuine. I care about your feelings, and whatever it is you're talking about, like I want to know more. I'm curious. Like
Yeah.
this is very fascinating. Why, like, not just how you're feeling now, but what it is that happened to you for you
Right.
to feel this way.
And if you don't communicate how the intention behind it,
Yeah.
a lot of women, because they're not exposed to that real and rawness, they'll take that as, oh, we're in love.
Yeah.
Like they attach to that quick because especially at that age, like
Bro, I had to stop doing it.
I feel you, bro.
had to stop.
You have to move. Yeah, you have to be mindful, bro.
Yeah.
And because most men and most boys in college are moving on that
Yeah.
speed, bro. They're moving on the time. And bro, like I said, I don't want to. I've been there. I lived that life. You feel me? I did what I had to do.
Yeah.
You know.
You've all been there, bro.
But I I grew out of it in college, and I saw that, bro, when I started to cultivate real relationships with women, having conversations with them, talking to them and figuring out who they actually are, not what can I get from you or how fast can I get you back to my room. I was actually like, I want to just get to know you and your perspective. You would see them, like their eyes would get like large because they're like, I've never had somebody sit down and actually talk to me like they're just trying to get to know me.
Yep.
You know? And yeah, that's why it was important to always like preface, hey, like I'm not really looking for anything.
Yeah.
I genuinely just want to get to know
But if
you.
I'm being real, that shouldn't even matter. Like you could say that, you could give them the forewarning, but
Yeah.
they still gonna.
I feel you, bro.
Because I'll be like, yo, this is my intention.
Nah,
but they're gonna try
college
to
is-
change your mind, bro.
College is
The girls are gonna do any. Yo, nah.
Yo, all my brothers listening in college, man, be careful, be smart, be intentional, and use college as a time to experience but grow.
Yes.
Like don't like not to like look bad at yourself, but like every year you should be able to look back and be like, I'm growing.
Yep.
Like to a certain extent. Like you don't want to start that process when you graduate, which so many men do.
Yeah.
Because now you're in the real world, start operating like you're in college.
Yep.
You don't know what to do.
College is a blessing, man, because there's so many things that you don't realize once you're done that now you have all these other responsibilities. College, you're really genuinely chilling.
Bro.
Like, and you have to
You don't
take
understand,
that,
bro.
You have to take advantage of that.
You don't understand.
You don't show.
You don't understand. What are you currently unlearning?
Ooh. That's a great question. What am I currently unlearning? Let me sit with that one.
Good, bro.
What am I currently unlearning? I feel like there's a lot of habits that I instilled in myself as an athlete that I'm like, okay, if you want to be great, you have to like have this type of mindset. But I'm unlearning, like I'm unlearning. I don't even know how to put it into words. I'm unlearning like how to really give. I can't say I'm unlearning. I'm learning how to give myself grace. So I'm unlearning how to dictate every day based off of progress. Because I said like how you being productive every single day. Like
You're unlearning
production
being so hard on yourself for being like perfect for that day.
production is not necessarily like hard work. It's not the grind and the hard work and okay, I'm feeling exhausted, that equals production. So I'm unlearning that because as an athlete, it's like if I don't feel exhausted at the end of the day, if I'm not
Right.
tired, I don't feel like I actually got better and I
Mm.
put in work.
So you're unlearning the working harder and learning the working smarter.
Yes.
I got you.
Yes. That's a good, it's not working harder is not the same as working smarter.
Right.
So as I get older and I'm
Dog.
giving myself more grace, it's like, yo, I'm being productive by organizing. I'm being productive by planning. Like I may not have done nothing today, but Monday I just spent the day planning the rest of
That's
my week.
that's a win.
That's a huge win. Like being more faithful. Like that's like knowing that if I feel good in my faith, that I'll be more productive in these other areas. That's
What does
production.
that look like for you? Because I know obviously you're Muslim.
Faithful.
Yeah, but
Like just learning, continuing to learn every day about my faith, about how to pray, different prayers, different duas. Duas are like it's like an actual prayer, like because there's different types of prayers that you could do, and there's so many to learn. So like just learning more, being more in tune. I think that for me personally, that helps my energy be more productive in other areas. So I know I learned as I get older, if I'm able to learn more about my faith and be better in this area, the rest of my week is going to be so productive because I feel better. Like how you feel, taking care of your heart, taking care of your body, taking care of
so
your
important,
soul.
bro.
Those are things that I kind of ignored in college. I'm unlearning like the hard, like that quote unquote hard personality. Like I threw that out the window after college, bro. I'm soft. I'm very soft, and I'm proud of that being soft. Like I'm soft. I'm not soft. Does not mean you're weak. It's not. Those are not synonyms. Soft means that you're aware and you're in tune with how you feel and how and that actually means something to you. Like for me, you could look at your emotions like meditation. They say like meditation is a state of seeing your emotions, and instead of engaging with them, you just observe them.
That's it.
You just observe. And I think I'm unlearning how to engage in it. That's what it is, brother. I'm learning how to observe,
Without
accept,
wow,
and keep going.
that's beautiful. Learning how to observe without engaging.
Yeah.
Observe without absorbing. That's
Mm.
beautiful, bro.
Observe without absorb.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've
I
seen
like
that
that.
because that's you know you can observe an environment without absorbing it.
Mhm.
Same with your emotions. Like that's so true. There's a quote that says, "Your emotions are information, not instructions."
Hmm.
Right? They're information. When
Yep.
you have the
Yep.
awareness that they're information, it helps you to observe them without judgment,
Mm-hmm.
and then take a aligned action after.
Yep.
When they're in your instructions and you haven't done the work of sitting with them, processing, separating, creating separation, when you feel something, it creates an action and you immediately take it.
Yep.
It becomes your driving force
Yep.
in life. Feel this way, do this thing.
Yep.
Think this way, feel this way, do this thing.
Mhm.
And it's reactionary.
Yep.
You want to be in a responsive standpoint, in a responsive
point.
way.
Great point.
And the softness, right?
Mhm.
That kind of makes me think of masculinity. How do you view masculinity now? And yeah, just what's your perspective on like healthy masculinity? Because we live in a culture where, red pill and toxic masculinity was pushed for a while. And a lot of men view masculinity as only through the lens of what I can provide, how much
Yep.
money I make, my status, things
Yep.
like that. But, I've broken free from that
Yep.
paradox and I've kind of tapped into a different view of masculinity, but I'm interested to hear yours because I think softness is a part of that.
Yeah. Man, masculinity, not being afraid to again be true to yourself, right? But being a man comes with a lot of discipline. I think being disciplined is huge because it's a responsibility to be able to stand firm on what you believe in. Like we spoke about, like everyone that you engage in are gonna try to alter your thought process or the way you see the world in some type of way, and it's not healthy to continue to switch and switch and switch and um and try to be a people pleaser. So I think masculinity is really like being in tune with what it is that you truly believe in, being true to yourself, being not afraid to express yourself. And that comes back to that soft context is like softness is not weakness. Softness is actually the strongest you could be. Being able to sit with your emotions and and actually like progress in that element is the strongest and the best that you could actually like be as a man, as a human. So
Yep, go ahead.
no, just masculinity in general is really like it's honestly like being that's what I'm working on is being proud of what you have and what you've done. It's being confident enough to express yourself in your emotions while being vulnerable, and it's being able to now that you have those two things, can I lead? Can I lead with those first two steps and inspire other people to do the same? So it's super important to be in tune in that way because women especially like they have a certain idea of it is what they need from someone else, what they're gonna need from a partner, and as a man, every single woman you meet, they have a different need. So now you can't continue to change based off everyone you meet. You have to stand on what it is you are. So that way you're gonna find the person that is meant to align with you.
That's good, bro.
If you keep switching, you can just keep people pleasing. You're not finding alignment. You're the one that's trying to force,
Right,
to be aligned with them.
right.
But yeah, no,
That's good.
It's genuinely like being true to who you are. Yeah, being true to who you are. I know like the answer for me is a lot more deeper. It's not coming into my head.
You're
but
good. And
mascu-
I think another element is being able to hold space for somebody. As a man,
Yeah.
your ability to hold space
Yep.
for
It's
people, but
huge.
specifically your woman.
Huge.
It's huge, bro.
It's huge.
Like it's huge. Like there's a, and then you think of like all like when you think of a man leading, a lot of men immediately correlate to just being the breadwinner.
Mhm.
But what about leading emotionally,
That's what I'm
mentally,
saying.
spiritually?
That's bigger.
It's more important.
It's huge, man. Like that's what I'm saying. Like knowing your emotions and knowing what you stand on, then being able to lead in that aspect has nothing to do with financially or
Right.
home security and things like that. Those are things that you got to create. Like whether you have a woman or not, you need to create that for yourself as a man. So now it is like how am I taking care of this person, as their personal development?
Yeah.
Are they becoming a better person every day? Like, are they becoming a better human? What are they doing for personal development? Are they actually staying in tune with their emotions? Are you helping them figure that out? Like you said, creating space for them to come and express themselves in an authentic way. Because someone could come express themselves and they're not actually being real. They're just, whatever goals they want to get across, they're gonna do that. But are you opening up that space for someone to be themselves? Especially your woman. This is extremely important.
Man, that's good, bro.
Yeah, that's something that I kind of hold. I I really really try to prioritize is the people around me. The biggest compliment is if they're themselves around me. Like,
They feel safe to be
are you
themselves.
really? Yeah. Do you feel safe to be authentic and transparent around me? That's the biggest compliment.
That's so good, bro. My mom says the same thing with
For
her
real?
students.
Yeah, bro.
She said the
students,
best compliments you can get is when a kid says, "I feel safe around you."
Absolutely. Friends, family,
Yes,
colleagues, teammates, classmates. Like it's such a huge.
it's so good, bro. And then this is where the self accountability comes in. It's like you got to ask yourself, would you date you?
Mm,
Would you be your friend?
shoot, I would be my best friend, bro.
I love that.
I would be my best friend. If I was I wish I could date me, bro. I would take care of myself.
Facts.
I would take care of myself.
That's good, bro. Like, would you be your best friend?
Yeah.
Like, would you be friends with you?
What
That's
do you
real.
think? Would you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And dating too. I think I'd be a great partner.
Shoot, I would be an amazing partner, bro.
Yeah.
I'll take care of
I mean, you are.
myself.
You already are. Like
I think
I'm
I
still
am.
working towards finding that relationship,
Yeah.
and cultivating it. But yeah, the way you've always carried yourself, bro. Like it's, man.
Yeah. I have to. I'm working a lot on because I am vulnerable and I am transparent, but it's like there's another notch I need to tap into.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's where I'm working on unlocking that is I'm like controlled transparent. You know, I'm so aware that I know how much.
What aspects are you talking about? Relationships or like putting yourself out there with like content and stuff?
I mean, I think they all go together, but it's definitely relationships. I
Hmm.
think that's where it's going to start. My relationship with my family, my relationship with my community, and then that's going to transition. That's going to transition to being able to do it more with content. You know, because that comes from not being proud of what I've accomplished or where I'm at in life. I'm not where I want to be in life, but that's not a reason for you to sulk. That's not a reason for
Absolutely
you to be
not.
ashamed. I am exactly where I'm meant to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. And I got to stand firm on that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just about saying it. It's about truly, truly believing that and truly, truly being proud of what I've accomplished and what I've done. Because for a long time, I wasn't happy with my basketball career. I wasn't happy with, you know, the results from from publishing my book. I was very happy that I finished the book and I was able to publish it. But like it's like you have such high expectations for yourself, and when you don't attain them, when you don't reach it, or you're just not there yet, I'm trying to speak for other people, but for myself, I'm like, I can't get comfortable yet. I can't be happy yet. I can't whatever celebrate
That's
yet.
dangerous.
Extremely dangerous. So I feel like the last few months I've really, really been working on that and looking at myself. I put words of affirmation up on my wall.
I love that.
I used to think that was mad corny. People that used to do that, I'm like, bro, you have to be self-motivated. But life is in chapters. Life works in chapters. One of my uncles, he used to always listen to motivational speeches while he works out, or this, that, the third. He's like, yo, let's put this on while we work out. I don't want to listen to that, bro. I'm motivated already.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
need
already
that, yeah.
inspired. You know, he's like a few years older than me. And my chapter comes up and I'm like, damn, I'm low-key not motivated right now, bro. And I listen to it, I'm like, yo, he's low-key hitting right. He's
It
talking.
helps.
So everything really comes in chapters. It comes in phases. And this is the one I'm at right now, where it's like, okay, like I'm genuinely learning how to be proud of the things I've accomplished.
Absolutely.
I look back at my career, bro. We were looking at our practices yesterday. I'm looking back at myself, and I'm proud of that kid. Crazy. I'm so proud of him. But him back then, he wasn't thinking like that. So I'm like, now my future self, would he look back at me now and would he be proud of me? And absolutely he would. And I have to move like that. Like, you have to give yourself more grace, because that's how you're gonna flourish. That's gonna give you, it's like a catapult to get further, is that type of feeling. It's not feeling down and talking shit and being disappointed. It's not gonna help you grow. All that does is make other people look at you like a disappointment. Because people are proud of me. People are happy for me. People are doing this. If I am bringing that energy out to the world, eventually that's what's gonna hit them. That's what they're gonna see.
Yep.
So you have to really speak well to yourself. You have to believe. You really truly have to believe in yourself, and be proud.
Beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
Give yourself grace. That's good.
Yeah.
Man, give yourself grace. Be proud of yourself, because shame and lack is never a good driving force for why you're doing something. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm trying to do this thing so that I could become enough.
Yep.
No, you are enough in pursuit of that thing.
Yep.
You know, it's and then you realize, this is some deep stuff, but like all of the things that we desire in life, it's not the physical things we want, it's the emotion we think it will bring. You don't want money because of the physical money. You want money because of the security and the freedom. You don't want a girlfriend just to say you have a physical girlfriend. You want the love and the being felt and being understood.
Yep.
Right? People don't want the nice car just to have the physical nice car. They want the feeling of feeling good while they're driving and feeling validated, right? So when you understand in life, I'm really searching for all of these different emotional states, and emotions are generated from within. Let me not place my peace, my happiness, my joy on the opposite end of getting something. Let me learn how to cultivate those things in the moment in pursuit to getting something.
Life changing.
Changing it changes everything, because now that's the scenic route.
Yep.
Right. Now we're not on the highway. Now we're not in a rush. I'm enjoying where I am in pursuit of where I'm trying to get to.
That's that balance. That's the challenge.
Come on, bro.
Get to. Once you hit that balance, ooh, life changing, man.
It changes everything. It's a beautiful flow. It's what was it? It's how do I say it? It's I don't know, be where your feet. Oh, and this is another quote. When the goal in life is to experience, everything becomes a win.
I like that.
The goal isn't to get something. It's not to have this. It's not to do this. The goal is to experience. That means everything becomes the goal, becomes a win.
That's also like the title, My Favorite Nightmare, is those experiences, like appreciating the experiences that you're going through in life. That's what it is. You have to have a love for it, in a sense. Like, you have to appreciate that you're growing. So I'm happy that I was kind of aware that throughout my college career is this is like a true fact, true story, that I'm going through some of the hardest, toughest things I've ever experienced. But while I'm going through it, I'm like, yo, write this thing down, because I know someone else is going through this. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I was as much as I was feeling the pain, I'm like, someone else is either going to go through this, or they're currently going through this. So write this down so you could understand it, to help them. And I was really coming out a place like that, for real. Like, I was looking at other people, and the empathy again was like, how do I help others? Like, yes, I'm going through this, but I know I'm gonna make it out, right? So,
wow,
yeah, true story.
Wow, bro. All right, last couple of questions, and then we'll wrap it up, because we could sit here and talk for hours.
Facts.
Bro, we could, and that's why I said we needed to do another day, but it's all good.
Yo,
what is the best advice that you've ever heard, received, or given that comes to your mind?
The best advice I ever heard, received, or given. Tough question. It's extremely cliche, but it's because it took me a very, very long time to understand it. Because whenever I first got that advice, the person told me, and I was like, I like brushed that off quick. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about, bro? There's bigger things to deal with. And they're like, you got to put yourself first. Putting yourself first in order to help others. And as cliche as that is, as simple as it is, it never hit me, bro. It never hit me, because I'm like, it's impossible. There's no way I'm gonna put myself first. Like, I can't. There's all of this going on. How am I gonna ignore that, be selfish, and do this? But it took me so many years of growth to understand what that message meant, and it's really like, it's not what I thought before. I'm not actually putting myself first. I mean, ahead of other people, but like, you can't fill other people's cup with an empty cup, or whatever the saying is. Like, I got so burnt out that I was incapable of helping anybody. As much as I wanted to, I was frozen. And it was like, okay, like, that's what you meant by take care of yourself, to be able to help other people. The better I feel, the more I have to give to other people. Like, yeah, you could, I guess, like, for some, it's a message that's received earlier. But for me, coming from where I come from, when you come from, a big family, and you're the oldest or whatever, there's so much responsibility instilled into you. No one really tells you. You get little signs of like, okay, you should do this, or you have to do this, or you gotta move like this, whatever. I had all of that instilled in me. I'm like, it's impossible for me to put myself first. I have to, do this for him, or do this for her, or help and whatever. But I realized, man, I made so many sacrifices, all for it to had changed nothing. And I'm like, bro, I'm the one that got impacted by this. I'm the one that got affected by this now. And the other people I was trying to do it for, nothing changed. And like, I realized, like, you really have to, I don't know if putting yourself first is the word, but taking care of yourself.
You got to prioritize your well-being first.
You got to take care of yourself. And that is gonna you taking care of yourself, you're taking care of everybody around you.
Absolutely. And
You know?
it's a byproduct of you taking care of yourself.
Yeah, so it's a super, super simple advice, but it's something that I had to hear so many times over and over and over again before it really resonated with me. And it's something that I still kind of I don't struggle with it as much, but it's still at the forefront of my mind whenever I go about my day um is really like just continue to stay healthy and get better. The more you're at peace and happy, the better you'll be able to help the people around you. And it's always something I always pray about is I say like help me be stronger physically, emotionally, spiritually, subconsciously. Help me be stronger so that not just for me but for everybody around me.
That's
And
beautiful.
yeah.
It's a great prayer, great mantra. If today was your last day on earth and you had to leave one message,
Yeah. God damn.
yeah, if today was your last day on earth and you had to leave one message behind, what would it be?
Wow. I have to leave one message. Hmm. I would say don't ever don't ever place your value in the hands of someone else because like you dictate, your worth. And if you allow that value to be in someone else's hands, it's never going to be attained. Like you're going to get there and now the bar is going to go up all the time. Every time you reach that point, the bar is going to level, the bar is going to level. So you're always going to feel belittled. You have to hold your own worth, your own value,
Mm,
and and that's enough. That's what I would say. That's enough. You being yourself is enough. People are out here saying and trying to belittle and you know have people doubt themselves, but the reality is everybody genuinely wants to feel that feeling they have, when they're in the room by themselves. You want to have that feeling as much as possible. So if you're able to, be okay with who you are and be confident in that, not let people alter that emotion that you feel, then you can go a long way. So I would say like don't place your value in the hands of other people, and you be in charge of your worth, and really really believe that. Otherwise, it's gonna continue to fluctuate. It's gonna continue to fluctuate. You're never gonna be able to attain whatever it is that they say your value is.
mm.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful message, bro. My brother.
my brother,
That was great, bro. I
my
mean,
brother.
it was like it's a surreal moment just being here.
Mhm.
Like I caught myself a couple of times throughout the conversation, just like what's the word? Being like just taken back that
Mm.
we're actually sitting here in person after everything that we've been
Bro,
through.
it's insane,
After
man.
everything we've talked about, it's wild,
To
bro.
know the journey, to know where we first started, like I could still picture right now like it was just last year when the first day we met. You know what I'm saying? Like getting into the
It's
dorms and that
crazy.
in that hallway, and your room was right across mine. And I'm like, that's the guy I'm sitting next to right now. And it's like, I'm surprised, but I'm not that surprised, bro. Like, it's not that surprising to see where we are right now and to have this conversation. And I know that we're going to continue to have more conversations as we grow
Absolutely.
older, and it's going to be insane to see, the experiences that we're going to continue to experience.
Yeah.
But it's like it's a huge blast from the past to be able to sit here and have conversations about those big moments, man.
Very huge.
Big moments that we went through, and see where we are. Boom, right here.
My boy got his book.
Got a book. You got
Yo,
a
shout out.
whole
Go ahead.
freaking audience
Yeah, bro.
podcast.
Yeah, bro. And shout out to all the former teammates and homies from Adelphi,
Yes.
man. Like
Yes.
this is a moment for all of us,
Yes.
So
Some great people at Adelphi,
great
man.
people, man. Shout out to
Amazing
all
people.
y'all, bro. Ron, Adonis, Matt, Jake, Andrew, everybody, bro. Like I could go down the list.
Nah, some
Connor,
great
Aris, Niv,
Yup.
everybody, bro. Now I gotta
Now
Justin.
you gotta name them all.
now I gotta name everybody. Oh wait, Justin, bro.
There's gonna be one of them
I
right
know.
here. Like, name me.
I'll make sure. Spencer. Yo, I think I
Spence.
said Andrew.
Spence, who else? Austin,
Jared, Austin, everybody. Owen,
Dwayne,
Darnell.
Darnell.
What was his name? He was the Greek, not Aris, the other one, the first year.
Oh, Theo.
Theo, and then the other dude, Eric.
That's my bro.
Yo, shout out to
Eric.
all my brothers, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop there, but
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like basketball, like the connections that you get,
yeah, bro.
being able to move.
Tim,
Like being able to move. I played on a few different teams, and it's like that was one of the tightest bonds, right?
Yo, them 3 years was so fun, bro.
Crazy.
So
No,
fun.
basketball, sports is beautiful, man.
Yeah, man. For
Sports
real.
is beautiful.
But y'all gonna see me and Josh more in the future for sure. Love this dude to death. This is my brother. We're gonna do a lot more collaboration, especially as we continue to progress. But that is gonna do it for this episode. Appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Remember, most importantly, to take everything with a grain of salt. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Deuces. My dog.